Hi, good morning everyone. So it's Sunday, June 21st, 2026. It's a one day, which I find fascinating. Maybe that was why I was pushed to do so many videos yesterday. That was crazy. But yeah, so it's divine unity. It's God. And it's also referenced in Deuteronomy 6:4, where it says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one." And it's also referenced in Isaiah 42:8, referencing to the one. So it's my 60th video, and that symbolizes completeness, divine order, and human effort. And I found it fascinating because it's a life milestone. Yeah, in biblical culture, 60 is seen as the threshold into old age or the last major phase of life, which I find fascinating because, if you're new, and you haven't seen any of my older videos, I have mentioned that, I just had a birthday, so I just turned 61. So if I look back to when I turned 60 to the 61, yeah, I could definitely see, a lot of things have happened to me. A major phase of my life. It's definitely changed. Yeah, went from being able to be employed and have a home to not have that. But I'm not heartbroken. I'll tell you that I'm not heartbroken, which many would probably be heartbroken. But maybe it is my age. Maybe I don't know. But I really do thank God for me not being brokenhearted about it. He really has brought me through this phase in my life. I will admit that. So, Isaiah 60, it refers to the rise and shine, for your light has come. That's in that verse. Verse 22, a little one shall come, and become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. So, coming from the one comes many, and the Lord will hasten it in his time. And then Psalm 60, and I want you to guess who it's from and what he's doing. It's like a major theme for David. He's crying out again and to restore his scattered people. And in Matthew 13:8, it's the parable of the sower of the word of God, producing varying yields, and return with most fruitful yielding 60-fold return. So it's talking about how if you sow your seed, you get 60-fold in return for what you sow. And then in Genesis 25:26, I did a little bit of research into this because I was curious, because that's me. Isaac was 60 when he had Jacob and Esau, and they were the born age of the patriarchs. So I was like, wow, if he was 60 when he had them, then how old was he when he died? And he was 180 when he died. And I thought, that's fascinating, because I know 120, like I said, I don't know much about the Bible. I've heard bits and pieces. So because numbers stick out to me. So when I saw the difference between the 180 and 60 is 120, I'm like, oh, that reference to the flood. And how does that reference to the flood? So then, because the 120, I've heard references to the flood. And so I was researching into that, and it was like biblical scholars think it oh, I forgot. Oh, I'm sorry. But if you just Google it, 120 in the Bible or something like that, I think that's what I Googled. It'll pop up. And it'll tell you the verse that it refers to the 120. So the 120 count, they're thinking the 120 countdown was to the flood. So I'm like, oh, well, if that's so, then, there was 120 years that he lived. So that was the countdown to his death, I guess. Yeah, I just found that fascinating. But Isaac is the grandfather to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he's also the son of Abraham and Sarah. And Abraham was 100 when he had Isaac, and Sarah was 90. And the name Isaac means he laughs, and he was named that because Sarah laughed when God told her that she was going to have a son, because she's thinking, I'm 90 years old, like, yeah, I probably would laugh too, like, really? 90? And, being 61, I don't know, but I think maybe a lot of things would be different. I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't have all the ailments that we have now because food was a lot more pure. The environment was more pure. Maybe we wouldn't have the ailments that afflict our bodies more, because I have arthritis. And perhaps that wouldn't be in my body if things were more pure. Yeah. I don't know. That's just a thought of mine. Because I'm like, I don't know if I would want to live to be, 180. Because, I keep thinking, because I've had arthritis since I was like 30. That's when I was first diagnosed with it. And it's in my knees. And the doctors didn't want to do anything for me, really, because they're like, oh, you're too young. It's not going to last long. So, and then it got to the point where I feel like it crippled me so much that I feel like a recovery was going to be harder on me. It's like when it wasn't hard on my body that much, they didn't want to do anything, and it waited to a point where it was really hard on my body, and then my body wasn't strong enough. Maybe that's my thoughts to recover, but I'm enduring. It's all right. I'm not bitter or anything. It's just thoughts that go through my head, wondering. But going back to Abraham and Isaac. So Abraham was actually commanded by God to sacrifice Isaac as a test of faith. And I don't even know if I could do that. Oh, it just brings tears to my eyes, because it brings tears to my eyes when I, because I'm a visualist. Thinking sacrificing your own child in obedience to, but I guess, I don't know, because he was promised that Isaac would, would rule, and I guess if you think about that, then you don't think that he's actually going to die. I don't know, just thoughts. But so God commanded him to sacrifice Isaac to test his faith on Mount Moriah. And Mount Moriah is actually, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, is the most sacred location located in Jerusalem. King Solomon built the first temple there, and also King David purchased the threshing floor, and which I find fascinating. Yeah, because the threshing floor is where they separate the grain from the worthless chaff. And when you think about that location and what was done, I would think that it's a very sacred location because, Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac there, but this is what I'm going to explain to you. So at the last moment, an angel stopped Abraham and provided a ram, and the ram was actually in a thorn bush. So that actually mirrors the crucifixion of Jesus when you deeply think about it. I mean, yeah, it symbolizes the sacrifice of Jesus, because Jesus had the thorns, on his, and, God sacrificed him for us. Oh my gosh. Yeah, God sacrificed him for us. So, and then, in regards to the number 60, it's a highly composite number. It's the smallest number, evenly divisible by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's see here. It's the incredible mathematical flexibility is why ancient civilizations divided time in circles into 60-part units and standards, and we still use that today, which I find fascinating, that this all like links to it being a like an important biblical milestone in life. It symbolizes completeness, divine order. And yeah, that's, numbers are fascinating to me. So I hope it's fascinating to you too. But I'll keep it short. So I hope you have a great day. And I love you all. And let's keep waiting for Jesus to come and take us, because I'm ready. Love you all.